I wanted to know, how hard do you think it is, difficult it is for contact with CPS, and what ways your parents go? Because you mentioned some parents that got in contact with you, but I have had parents who have had very hard times contacting CPS. And on site is very hard.
Sure, thank you for that question. And of course, I can't speak for CPS specifically because they're not under our purview of the court, but I can understand and appreciate the concern that parents have in trying to get that information from CPS. And while we are not CPS and maybe don't have that same information, one service we can offer is to help parents in facilitating that contact, because sometimes we have those internal contacts where we could kind of get in touch with someone at CPS and give them a tap on the shoulder perhaps to give that parent, reach out to that parent and give them a call, or if we need to schedule a meeting of some kind, then that's something that we can do. So parents who are in that similar situation, I would encourage them to either call our office directly or set up one of those online appointments. They can scan QR codes or hit a link on the website and set up an appointment, and we can go over all of those options with them at that time. We'd be happy to do that. Because I understand that parents oftentimes have a lot of anxiety and concern when CPS is involved, and then inevitably that might mean that friend of the court is involved and the court is involved, and it all sort of runs together. So I can understand and appreciate that. As far as the concerns around marijuana, I again, can't give you CPS perspective, but I'll give you the FOC perspective.
Okay.
When we're evaluating a case for custody or parenting time, and use of marijuana is something that comes up as a concern for parents, and it does, right? And marijuana being legalized, we sort of take off the illegal drug lens and we put on legal substance lens. Because a parent can have issues if they're abusing a legal substance as well, whether it's alcohol, prescription medication, or in this instance, marijuana. So the focus is on not necessarily what a parent's use of that particular substance is, but how it impacts the child. So child is smelling like marijuana. Okay, well, tell us more about that. Who can we talk to and substantiate that? Who else might be involved in that? And then around those concerns, I would anticipate that our office would structure a parenting time or custody plan to recommend to the court that would address those concerns, and whether that means having prohibitions around use during parenting time. That's a possibility, something that can be in an order. Required random drug testing. We've seen that in parenting time orders as well. So there are options available, and I understand and appreciate parents' concern there.
Hey, thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
And I'm glad I asked that, because sometimes they are caught between, do we call CPS, do we call a friend of the court, do we call police? But just even the services that with the child support and working with some of these fathers that have had hard times finding jobs, but making a balance that the mother gets the support, or vice versa when it's the father receiving child support. I think it's been a good balance at friend of the court. So just want to thank you for your service.
Thank you, I appreciate that very much.
Thank you. I don't have anything else from commissioners. I do not have any comments. We appreciate the presentation today. Thank you both for your service. We appreciate it. Thanks so much. Thank you. With that, we will move to agenda item number 6, which is public comment related only to the agenda action items. Today, that is the Saddlebag Drain District bonds, the Fire Commission contract, and the Brownfield Plan agreement. I'll be shocked if anybody has anything on that, but if you do, please come forward. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Wendy Price. I'm the Executive Director of Flat River Outreach Ministries. So we are here seeking the Brownfield. And tell you a little bit about us. We are a nonprofit. We've been around for 27 years. We serve the Lowell community, the greater Lowell community. We serve about 1,000 families a year, providing and supporting them and empowering them to meet their basic needs, such as food, family support, along with housing. In 2016, we started our housing journey where we offer affordable and supportive housing in the community of Lowell. And we quickly learned that it wasn't enough. And so we decided that we needed to construct more affordable housing and supportive housing in Lowell. But we know our community, we know the people that we serve, we do not know housing development. And so we quickly sought after partners that would help us be successful in this space. because you can spend a lot of money in housing really quick without a whole lot to show for it. So we developed a partnership with ICCF Community Homes in Grand Rapids, and then also Eastbrook Homes as well. And I'm pleased to say we have started construction of our facility that will have 3 buildings housing up to 40 people in 17 units, and 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom units. And so we've been able to secure partnerships with, again, ICCF Community Homes, Eastbrook Homes, but also many in the Lowell and Greater Grand Rapids area to secure funding and partnerships. A lot of in-kind came from the community to make this project possible. And today, I have a chance, you have a chance to partner in this program as well and ensure its sustainability. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Wendy. And I didn't mean to be dismissive of your particular item there. Okay, anyone else for public comment related to agenda items only? I see none. We will move on to agenda item number 7, which is the consent agenda. I will call on Commissioner Faber.
I move the consent agenda of today's date.
Thank you. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Coleman. Questions, comments, or discussion on this item? This will be a roll call vote. I'd like to ask, as we complete the vote, take your minutes that are in this packet from the closed session, hand them to your left, all the way down to the clerk. With that, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the motion to adopt the consent agenda, Commissioner Boojak.
Yes.
Vice Chair Burrow.
Yes.
Commissioners DeBoer. Faber. Halsted.
Yes.
Hennessy. Hildenbrand.
Yes.
Coleman.
Yes.
LeGrand. McLeod.
Yes.
Merchant. Morales. Morse. Oliver King. Pakla. Ponstein. Sparks. Steck.
Yes.
Teal. Womack.
Yes.
Chair Green.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 21 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. The consent agenda is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll move to agenda item number 8. And for 8A, I will call on Minority Vice Chair McLeod.
Thank you, Chair. I move Resolution 84 of today's date, Saddlebag Drainage District Bond Series 2025, coming to us from Fiscal Services.
Thank you. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Womack. Questions, comments, or discussion on this item? Yes, Commissioner Faber.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, I'd like to thank the Drain Commission for updating the website with more information. It's gotten a lot easier to track these projects over the last couple months. There's still work to do, and I hope we can continue to show the community where their project really is in this pipeline. I think I've seen around this table at least some of these projects, because they take 3, 4, 5 years, we lose track of kind of where they are in the process. And frankly, it's not the most transparent process. There's special boards, tribunals, et cetera, that come in at different times. So I appreciate the follow-up from admin after finance related to the flow chart and the number of projects that we have happening. I'm hoping that as part of, I don't know when the Drain Commission will be giving their presentation to the whole board, but it would be really nice to see all of those projects and where they are in the timeline as we go through that. My question is, when I went online and kind of looked at the overall costs and then the assessments, it looks like about almost 62% of the assessment is from property owners within the district, and then there are several local municipalities as well as road commission, et cetera, that contribute to the project to make up the full $3 million that is being requested. Can I have clarity on how those local units of government are included in the process? Do they also get a yearly assessment? Do they have the opportunity to pay in advance, or are they subject to the same opportunity to delay payment year over year? I'll start with that one.
Drain Commissioner Yonker, good morning.
Thank you. Yes, they have municipalities that is determined on an at-large percentage. So we take the full cost of the project, 20% is covered by municipalities, and that gets broke up between the ones that are in that district. So in this case, we have the city of Kentwood and Grand Rapids Township. So that 20% is broke up between the two, and it's based on the
And
amount.
the city of Grand Rapids.
And, yeah, that's a very small piece, yeah, correct. And that's broke up based on the acreage they have in the district, just like it works with the property owner. They get assessed based on acreage,
Do they get the same opportunity to pay that up front,
correct.
or
Most-
they can?
Or
pay-
they can follow the bond, right, they can be part of the bond.
Okay.
That's their choice.
And how are they included in sort of the notices and the process that we have? That, I know we send mailings to individuals, but how do the local units get information?
We're required by law to send notice to the clerks. Clerks get the message, and they're required to pass it on to whoever they have to pass it on to.
Okay, great. Follow-up question. When we looked at Nash Creek and some of the other projects, you know, we had a laundry list of partners that came alongside that project to really look at more mitigation strategies, what happens before things go into a pipe. Who are the partners on this project? Obviously, Frederick Meyer Gardens is a huge landowner in this drainage district. Are they engaged in this in any way? Are there other partners? What type of drain, I guess, is this? Is there that opportunity? Thank you.
There, on this project, there is no partners. It's just a typical maintenance drain project. What we had with this was, we had two drains that were one stream, all right? So the Saddlebag drain came from the north, starts at Meyer Gardens and goes down underneath Cascade Road, and then it stopped. And then we had about a football field or more distance of no drain, and then it picked up into the Gillette drain, which then runs to the city of Kentwood. But that, what I call the no man's land, the city ran a sanitary sewer through there, it's all sand, and the manhole was set right in the middle of the stream. So now we got the water hitting that manhole going both sides, and all that erosion taking place, and no one's fixing it. No one has the authority to fix it. Property owner doesn't care, and that's very common. So in the meantime, we're getting sand dumped into a pond, inline pond, by the amount of about 20, 30 yards every 6 months because of this. And we keep digging this thing out, and then it gets assessed out. And it's a problem, because when that pond fills up, we then start filling up a wetland. And this is a very critical wetland that I couldn't allow that to take place. Nor would Eagle be very responsive to that. So we then had the hearing, and the township petitioned this, Grand Rapids Township, this particular project. And we then connected that as one drain, but then we had to go through the engineering, the permitting, and that's part of the project. So it was just a maintenance project. But because we were connecting those, it had to be done through a petition process. Yeah.
Okay, anyone else? Commissioner Womack.
Thank you for being here today, and I just wanted to say, reading the presentation, and then there was a part of it that answered some questions that might be predetermined that people would ask, and you just did a great job on this, you and your office, and it is really a step up from things that I saw years ago with information that went out to the public, and I think that's why we're not having a lot of blowback on this. You really gave a great presentation of answered a lot of questions I had right in that presentation. So just want to thank you for your hard work and moving the needle as far as getting information out to the public on things like this drainage that's going to cover from Kentwood, Grand Rapids Township. It's just great information, and You looking surprised that I'm here to tell you great job.
No, I know your heart's always right. And I appreciate that, and I'll pass that on to my staff because they're really key to keeping that information flowing.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Commissioner Pakla.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Yonker, great to see you here. Real quick question. I noticed that the Board of Determination letter is from 4 years ago.
Correct.
I know when we had some conversations previously this year, we talked about the length of time that happens between the Board of Determination or a petition and when the projects actually get started. Do you all have data you can share with the board on sort of the number of projects that have had that Board of Determination process happen that are now in the queue for your office to actually engage with? Because I think that's as we start to think through the ongoing improvements that we are enjoying seeing coming from your office, that's one place that I think would be really useful for us to understand is what's in the queue, what's coming up next, how many projects are there that are still to be determined, so that it doesn't look like there's just a long delay, but there's lots of projects and you're sort of taking them off.
We gave you a list, you should have that in your packet, I don't know if that was given, of what we have currently, all right, that are out for bid, and the dates are on that list. So you all should have gotten that list.
Yep.
All right, that's what's current, so
Okay.
that is what's ongoing.
And so that's everything that's gotten to that Board of Determination stage.
Well, it has been past that. This stuff is all out for bid now and is getting in the queue to be worked on.
Okay.
So I think there's like 9 more that'll be coming out this year, that projects that'll be started sometime between fall and next spring.
And that's really useful. And I think additionally useful would be everything that's gotten to that Board of Determination stage, because ostensibly, once it gets to that stage, those are projects that you will eventually
Eventually,
take
yeah.
out to bid,
If
right?
it gets to there and they approve it, the board approves it, yeah, there'll be a project.
Okay.
I have nothing in the queue. We had one petition that came to us, but thank goodness the board refused it. So that went dead. At this point, nothing.
Okay.
And I'm not encouraging anymore at this point. We gotta finish what we got. It costs everybody a lot of money and it just has to slow down.
Yeah, that's useful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet.
Anyone else? Okay, great. I see none. With that, this is a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 84, Commissioner Boujak. Vice Chair Burrow. Commissioners DeBoer. Faber. Halsted. Hennessy. Hildenbrand. Coleman. LeGrand. McLeod.
Yes.
Merchant. Morales. Morse. Oliver King. Pakla.
Yes.
Ponstein. Sparks. Steck. Teal. Womack. Chair Green.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 21 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 84 is adopted.
Thank you. We'll move to 8B, and I will call on Commissioner Halsted.
Thank you. I move to adopt Resolution 85 to approve the amended Kent County Fire Commission contract between Kent County and the Kent County Fire Commission member agencies to authorize the board chair designee to sign the amended contract.
Thank you. Supported by Commissioner Boujak. Questions, comments, or discussion on this item? I see none. This is a voice vote. All those in favor of adoption of the resolution say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries and the resolution is adopted. Move to agenda item 8C, and I will call on Commissioner Faber.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to move Resolution 86 of today's date, Brownfield Plan Agreement, brought to us from the Administrator's Office. Excuse me.
Thank you. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Pakla. Questions, comments, or discussion on this item? Commissioner Hildebrand.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to thank Wendy for being here this morning and thank her and her staff at the Flat River Outreach Ministries for all they do in our community. You know, the housing is a big project, but they do so much more with the food pantry and the thrift store and help with taxes and all kinds of things. So I just appreciate her being there. I know the board has been invited to a tour a week from Monday to see the 3 units that are going up, the 3 buildings and the 17 units that are going up. just east of downtown Lowell on Main Street. So if anybody can attend, I know they'd welcome folks to check it out. So thanks again, and I encourage support of the resolution.
Thank you. Commissioner Faber.
Thank you, Chair. So Chair Green and I are both on the Brownfield Authority Board. We're excited, I think I can share, we're both excited that the first project is out of the gate. We've kind of cracked the seal on using Kent County's Brownfield Authority for the first time with this project. We're looking forward to more community partners coming forward to use the tool. Just a reminder, if your local unit has a brownfield, you can use that, but if they don't, they can come through the county. It's virtually the same process with the same approvals at the local level. It just allows us to use our tool. The advantage of Kent County, again, is the long-term monitoring of affordable housing. So a lot of times the local unit might not have the capacity to build the systems to really track keeping those units affordable over time. So that's a service that Kent County is providing to the local units, which I think we'll continue to see that get implemented. So excited to see this project moving forward, excited that we have affordable housing growing out in our community. And thank you so much for all of your work in putting the partnership together.
Thank you. Commissioner Womack.
Just want to thank you and for your partnership with ICCF and others to make this happen. And whenever we can have some new homes, as we need so many here in Kent County, it's a plus. With ICCF.
Commissioner Womack, can you make sure your mic is on?
Yes, just want to thank you again for working with ICCF and other partners to make this happen. Whenever we can increase housing in Kent County, it's a plus. With with ICCF also in their mission statement, looking to make affordable homes and equitable situations. I just know that partnership is really going to help in our housing crisis, so thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner LeGrand.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to pile on and say I love this project. I love the brownfield that we've opened up to people, and to see new housing being built is great. And just a good reminder that housing is not just in our urban center. It's not a need just here. It's across the county. And so to see this coming up in the Lowell community is great. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Steck.
Thank you, Chair Green. Just quickly, how many other projects are in the queue at the brownfield? And are they all housing projects, or are they commercial and housing?
Josh Spencer. Morning.
So officially, that number is 0, because everything else is kind of more behind the scenes kind of conversations. I'm aware of at least 2 projects that are working toward submitting information to the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, and several other communities that are more just exploring this tool as a whole and how they plan to use it and what their priorities are around it.
So has word gotten out? I mean, do all the communities that don't have their own authority aware that we are there?
Yeah, we've communicated with them in writing. We've attended all the quadrant meetings and also communicated through that way. And we're just individually reaching out as well, just to make sure that they're maybe thinking proactively about this tool and how they would use it, and maybe not wait until you have a project on your doorstep, and then we're kind of thinking about all these things together with specific to a project. So we're trying to get that going.
Great, thank you.
And Administrator Vandenberg had a follow-up.
Just a quick clarification that the brownfield certainly could be accessed by communities that don't have a brownfield authority, but it could also be accessed by communities that do. Because the reporting, a brownfield can do economic development projects or housing projects. The reporting to the state on the housing projects is pretty major, and so a local unit that has one that they're using might also opt to use the counties for a specific project.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I see none. With that, this is a voice vote. All those in favor of adoption of Resolution 86, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. The motion carries and the resolution is adopted. We move to agenda item number 9, which is public comment related to general county matters. Please give us your name and address, and you have up to 3 minutes. Good morning.
What up, though? How y'all doing? I'm D. Jones, passionate entrepreneur and visionary. And besides it being Kent County Board, today I'm actually going in person on ABC 13 to speak about the Stockton Community Hub that I chair. So you guys will be seeing me speak about this global, bold vision that we have of actually changing the community. I was happy to go to the Progressives at the park. I'm an independent, but I like to hold the Republicans and the Democrats accountable because there are bad actors on both sides of the aisle, to be honest. And I'm a genuine person, and I don't like fake politicians and fake people. And usually I call them out, but I was just there to just spread the good news of the Stockton Community Hub because there are people that's running for a higher office, and I want you guys to know what we're doing for the community because I got a big grand vision of changing the community and being the change that I like to see and actually getting to the core root of the social issues. And I know politicians are usually, negotiating and trying to get things done for the community. So I hope to run into those politicians that will support the good work that we look to do continuously as we go after the core root of the social issues, because I've been at this for 7 years. I've been advocating for 7 years, going to city government. I've been coming here consistently. I wish I could have said something to Andy about our partnership when I developed the Youth Justice Influence Esports League. I know that the county funds the courts, but the courts have its own decision. But I've been able to reduce recidivism and really been able to change it. Now I'm doing things at the DeVos Place, bringing colleges and universities and high schools all across the United States here. I'm doing it really big. I'm doing it as big as it can be. I'm actually bringing the largest in-person scholastic esports events in the United States here to the DeVos Place. So it really doesn't really get bigger than that. And I'm black, I'm African American, and I happen to be a pioneer and a visionary. And so I have to say these things because it's not people of color that look like me that's doing these things. And I'm not Caucasian, I'm a black person. I can do things sometimes better than Caucasians and sometimes better than other black people, as other people can do things better than us too. But I wanted to let you know that I am a leader, I'm a bold pioneer, a visionary, and I'm gonna keep standing on business. And you guys will see me on ABC 13 with our executive director, the guy who spoke at the United Nations and continuously invited to the United Nations, the guy who got this nice scarf from Dan DeVos when I was at the unveiling of the soccer team, and I got the shirt too from Dan DeVos. And so besides the billionaires building soccer stadiums for their 10-year vision that they had, I was sure that I spoke to Carol Van Andel and David Van Andel and all of the billionaires about the community, because we're not about to just be building soccer stadiums. We're going to build the community up, and I'm going to keep standing on business. And I look forward to y'all see me live in person with my Cartiers on, looking nice and confident. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment related to general county matters? Good morning.
Morning. Kristen Geetson, 3471 Thistledew in Plainfield Township. Good morning, everyone. I'm here today as the Vice Chair of the Kent County Family and Children's Coordinating Council. I'm happy to be here today to introduce the council and to highlight some of the critical work that we're doing to support the well-being of children, youth, and families in Kent County. Formed by the Kent County Board of Commissioners in 1991, this council is a unique collaboration of representatives from state and county government, education, business, private agencies, advocates, and community members. Our mission is to provide leadership to enhance the well-being of children and families in Kent County so they may achieve their greatest potential. As we've engaged with various community stakeholders, we've identified 3 critical areas that require attention and investment. First, economic security is a critical foundation for families to thrive. When families have stable incomes, access to affordable housing, and reliable transportation, they're better equipped to succeed in all areas of life. And we're heartened to see that the board's commitment to supporting economic security through existing efforts to promote affordable housing and transportation continues. As the board starts work on the 2026 strategic plan, this council encourages you to continue an upstream focus in investing in prevention throughout the county. Prevention efforts like health education, maternal infant support, early childhood programming, and access to health care address the root causes of many challenges and create a community that's more resilient, stable, and prosperous. And last, to achieve this vision, we must emphasize collaboration and resource utilization across organizations and sectors. By sharing information and resources and leveraging each other's strengths, we can ensure services are connected, effective, and efficient. Our council is committed to fostering collaboration, and we're particularly excited about this board's newly formed Health and Safety Committee. Our council can be a valuable resource to this new committee. We would like to offer our expertise and insights into the needs of children and families across the entire county. We'd be happy to provide data, research, best practices to inform the committee's decisions and help identify creative and effective and sustainable strategies to improve health and safety outcomes for all families and all children. Our goal is simple: to create a Kent County where every family and every child has the opportunity to thrive, and I look forward to collaborating with you in the future. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Kristen. Anyone else for public comment related to general county matters? Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Bill Knapp. I live at 1101 Fairfield Avenue Northwest, Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm here as a member of the Kent County Environmental Action Team. And I want to start out by thanking Commissioner Faber for mentioning the loss of a great voice of Jane Goodall. And I'm going to go off script. My script is on a piece of paper that you'll all get. And it's really the things that we feel in the Environmental Action Team need to be done and looked at. I share a lot of things. We probably all share a lot of things with Jane Goodall, our love of the environment. And I'm also, I have my bachelor's degree in zoology, so she and I have a lot in common. And I followed her for her whole career, well, while I was around anyway. And the point is that we have a great void to fill. And the Environmental Action Team wants to do what we can, and asking you to join us in being that voice. Thank you for all you've done. There's been great progress over the last year that the county has made with environmental issues, and we know there's yet more to come. Over the last year, many things have happened. We formed our organization on January 31st. Today, we're nearing 100 voices, and it's going to continue to grow. Our meetings get larger, our events get more engaged, and people want to have a voice, and we're showing up. And that's the point, that what we want to do is advocate not just for the county, but for the environment of our county. And so that we have a good, safe place to grow up and to live for not just this generation, but for generations to come. So over the last year, a couple of things have happened. We know the cap has been approved. We know that the Grand Valley, gotta look it up. West Michigan, yeah, thank you. The Grand Valley Metro Council Healthy Climate Plan. It's my partner, Terry Gates. He'll be up here in a minute. As you go into your strategic planning, now is the time for you, like we are, and this is what we're doing at this present moment in the Environmental Action Team, is adopting all of the issues and elements of the plans, and how can we advocate and promote and advance these things? What can we do as citizens? So we would urge you, on behalf of these nearly 100 voices, to do the same, to take a look at these and move and implement a sustainability plan that then you can take action on, as we hope to. And really, that's it. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
Good morning, Commissioners. Terry Gates, 7135 McCords in Alto, Michigan. I'm also with Bill, a leader in the Kent County Environmental Action Team, and also the Executive Director of Healthy Planet Strategies, amongst other organizations. As you develop the Kent County's next strategic plan, I urge you to make the environment and sustainability central pillars of the plan. The Grand Valley Metro Council has released the draft of the West Michigan Healthy Climate Plan, which includes a regional target of 52% reduction in emissions by the year 2030. That goal is ambitious but achievable, but only if Kent County can take a leadership role. Pope Leo reminds us that environmental stewardship is a moral imperative. So this isn't just about protecting nature, it's about protecting people, public health, and the future of our communities. Across Kent County, we are facing major environmental pressures, a growing housing demand, increasing energy grid strain as demand rises, expanding public support for climate-smart practices, and a growing concern over water quality and availability. Kent County's Community Development Action Plan already commits to improving neighborhoods and strengthening infrastructure. Building on that foundation, I encourage you to consider establishing a Kent County Solar Commission, a powerful step toward ensuring that all residents benefit from clean, affordable, locally produced energy. Such a commission would promote solar-friendly zoning and streamline permitting. It would coordinate financial and technical assistance with local municipalities. It would ensure consumer protections and equitable access to solar energy. It would leverage cross-sector partnerships for promoting environmental literacy. This approach would create good-paying local jobs. It would lower household energy burdens and strengthen community resilience, particularly in neighborhoods that need relief the most. Kent County can also strengthen public engagement, ensuring that residents are informed, involved, and empowered to shape a cleaner, more resilient energy future. That's why I urge you to commit to developing a Kent County Climate Action Plan. We have a regional plan, we have a city plan. Kent County needs to step up and help build resilient strategies for flooding, heat, and extreme weather. We need to address waste reduction and greenhouse gas mitigation, and we need to promote community solar and clean energy expansion. Mr. Vandenberg, I respectfully ask that someone from your team reach out to the Kent County Environmental Action Team and assist the county's strategic efforts to integrate environmental actions that improve the quality of life for all residents. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment related to general matters? Good morning.
My name is Shannon Tanis. I'm a displaced person in Kent County. I recently got my FOIA request completed by the Sheriff's Department, and it was very concerning, disturbing when I looked at the information that they gave me in the log of when it was completed, and that it was done in July, and I wasn't given it until just the 1st of October. If that doesn't say withholding with intent, I don't know what does, okay? The multitude of OMA issues that I've tried to address with this county, with its other departments, and I'm not getting reciprocity on engagement to the level that needs to be. And I think I keep proving that by pointing out and screen capturing something else that's not being looked at. So at this point, because there isn't positive reciprocity engagement with me to address these to the degree they are, and that I continually start looking at your meetings that you just approved and the September 11th, and they're not fully accurate. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is because the selective engagement, what to address and not fully come to the table. I'm tired of nitpicking at and going along, and it's being delayed and denied to address to the full extent that needs to. To also address the issues regarding FOC, I appreciate their lovely presentation to paint a picture of such positivity, but what happens when families are forced into these because they are poor and they have to receive Department of Health and Human Services benefits, and you're forced to comply with establishing parentage and participating in the collection of child support, even though the law says when it is an issue of safety or threat upon a party that they do not have to participate. But the bodies keep ignoring that and not giving full attention and relief to that degree. So what it does is it causes conflict, more domestic violence between the parents, and even cases of murder. So when we can't look at the negative aspects or the non-compliant cases and address what needs to be done to help get full remedy and relief to the parties and look at the full impact that that is having on those non-compliant cases in the limbo state of hot topic that people don't want to address when it comes to maladministration and deficiency with those, we got a problem. I am a person that's impacted by these mechanisms, and it's been 30 years almost that I've had to participate and watch these entitlements over my participation in what I need to be successful, and it hasn't been successful. In my daughter's father's case, they've allowed him to be a heroin addict and commit crimes and stuff, and his family pay him under the table and do nothing about enforcement to the degree that it needs to be, and now they're allowing him to entertain disability so he can evade more of compliance with child support. As I'm homeless in my vehicle, I'm almost owed over almost $40,000 between my two child support cases. So how is I'm not allowed to use that as a credit to my house that I owned, or getting out of homelessness, or obtaining property to be successful, or the things that I need, and that I gotta do it from my capacity. So that's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else for public comment this morning? Okay, I see none. We will move on to agenda item number 10, which is the administrator's report.
Yes, just briefly today, I wanted to mention that we did hold our two quadrant meetings with our local units of government this week. We were up at the North Services Complex on Monday, and we had a robust group down in Gaines yesterday, and so we had some good interactions with our local unit officials, and they do appreciate that. So to our commissioners who did attend, thank you. We appreciate that participation as well. That's all for today.
Thank you, Al. Move to agenda item number 11, reports. Any commissioners have reports for the board this morning? Commissioner Steck.
Thank you, Chair Green. So as many of you may know, the state has engaged in a fundamental restructuring of the Medicaid behavioral health system. This is the first restructuring since 2013, I believe, which involves essentially redesigning how Medicaid services are funded and how those funds are allocated back down to the system. As part of that, earlier this week, the board, which includes Commissioner LeGrand, Commissioner Halstead, Commissioner Faber, debated and approved a resolution which calls for Network 180 to be a founding member in a new regional entity that would participate within one of the three new regions designed into this restructuring. So it's not clear yet exactly how that will go. The deadline for submissions is Monday. And so a submission will be submitted by this new entity that Network 180 is a founding member on, and that will be to be one of the PIHPs within this new 40-county region. It is no surprise that there is a lot of unknowns and disruption in this system. Since I got into it, that has been the characteristic of the system. But we will see. Our hope is that we will be able to find a more effective system for assuring that those funds are adequate and that they are distributed appropriately. So stay tuned. If you have more questions, please feel free to reach out. We'll answer what we can. Secondly, just a note, many of you have heard of the 100 in 100 program, which is a program for addressing chronic homelessness in Kent County, particularly in the Grand Rapids area, but also across the county. That program received an award this past couple weeks down in Phoenix as being one of the most innovative programs to address chronic homelessness. It's had great success so far. Didn't solve all the problems yet, but we're still working on it. So acknowledge those folks and all of the participating organizations that have come together to make that so successful.
Thank you. We call them out, but that really has been a collaborative effort from a lot of people at the table. So congratulations. Anyone else for reports this morning? I see none. We will move to agenda item number 12, which is miscellaneous. Does anyone have any miscellaneous items for the board this morning? Commissioner Faber.
It's actually a couple questions for Al. I didn't know if you were going to cover it in your report. 2 weeks, we're going to have a strategic planning meeting. What do we need to know as commissioners leading into that? It's only a couple days out now. And two, could you give a quick, or at least include in some summary, state budget has been passed. What does that mean for us? And two, federal shutdown, what does that mean for us? Thank you.
Sure. I'll start with the budget. So we were very pleased that the state did reach an agreement on a budget that left counties relatively, we didn't get harmed much or at all in the budget. So we maintained revenue sharing at last year's number. The health, the annual contract that we signed for the health department, we did receive that this week. And even though there are a couple areas in that agreement where, depending what happens at the federal level, we could see some reduced revenue, but at this point, we simply don't know. KCCA, which has been a particular concern, is held, at least as far as the state budget goes, we're held harmless there. And then that will depend some on what happens with the federal budget as well. But in any event, KCCA is good for, in any event, 3 more months. So at this point, we feel about as good as we could, I think, with the state budget and where we're at. With the federal budget, it's just a blank. I mean, we're in daily contact with our lobbyists and others involved in the federal process, and there really is no news to report. We're not sure what activity is happening, or if we're getting close, or if it's just people aren't engaging, so we just don't have any good answers on that yet. But obviously, that's something we're also concerned with. We did send a notice to employees a couple weeks ago, not knowing what was going to happen, and basically with a plan to hold everybody harmless through the end of October as we sort through all these things. Because quite frankly, if we were simply to, say, lay people off on October 1, if there aren't budgets, it would be more expensive for us to put it all back together when you look at some of the union bumping things that happen and all that sort of thing. So far, at this moment, we still are not anticipating any layoffs at this point. Obviously, that can change by the day or by the hour, depending on what happens outside of our control. But we're watching that very closely. As far as strategic planning, if we do have any pre-planning homework, it would be in the form of a survey. We're still kind of kicking that around. But other than that, it would be as typical. So we're looking at maybe some tweaks to the process, but again, we're meeting on those real time, so.
Commissioner Morales.
Hello. I've mentioned this a few times at the last meetings we've had, but I would just like to put it back on your radar that KCCA, in light of some funding uncertainty and the incoming winter coldness, we're hosting a luncheon to raise money for our fund, which will be on October 16 at noon in the KCCA building in the multipurpose room. So I would love to see you all there.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Ponstein.
Thank you, Chair Green. So just a follow-up to Commissioner Faber's for you, Al. So there's a shortfall, there's a problem possibly with the federal government. Doesn't our county have a sizable fund balance that I've always been told over my 18 years is that it's there for emergencies? I mean, wouldn't this be a time that we would tap into that?
Yes, in fact, by agreeing to hold people harmless for a month, we would be tapping into that. So, I mean, the worst nuclear situation would be if we did lose all of our federal funding, which is $65 million a year, which would be, to keep people whole for a month, would be over $4 million. Obviously, we're not going to be anything near that, but if we did have to lay people off, what we're saying is we wouldn't start until November to actually do layoffs. So notices would go before that. So there would be a use of fund balance to get to that point to address the emergency. By the same token, there are some programs that we can't supplant with county dollars. And there's others where we're simply not geared up to pay for $110 million of state and federal money. I mean, we just simply don't have that in the budget. We don't really have it in the fund balance to remain healthy to pay that for very long. And so that's why we kind of settled on a month, making sense, helping people adapt to the reality that something could happen, but also, and not overreacting, in my opinion, and cutting people off on the first of the fiscal year, thus creating more problem and even costs for us in doing that. So it's kind of a happy balance, but at some point, if we don't have a federal budget in a month, then we're all in deep trouble, I think. And so, at that point, I would not recommend, continuing funding state and federal funded expenses.
But isn't this how it always is? We've got Congress and the Senate that don't agree. When they do finally agree, everything's made whole. So it's not like the money's not gonna be coming, that the government's taking in trillions of dollars of tax dollars every day.
I would only say that this is a unique year. You're exactly right. I've probably faced a dozen impending and a few actual shutdowns over my career. In every other year, both state and federal, somebody would tell us, you're going to be made whole. It may not be in a big check right after we reach the budget agreement. It might happen monthly or by the pay period, depending on the case, over the next fiscal year. This is a unique year. Nobody was telling us that. And so in the past, in years where we didn't send out notices or do that sort of thing, it was because we had assurances from the state or the feds, depending on the year. This is the first year I recall where we've had both at the same time. And this year we didn't get those assurances. And so we felt it was responsible to take action.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else miscellaneous this morning? All right, see none. We'll move to agenda item number 13, and I will again call on Commissioner Faber.
Thank you, Chair. I move to adjourn, subject to the call of the Chair, to Thursday, October 23, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. for our official meeting.
Thank you. Is there support? Support. Supported by Commissioner LeGrand. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you all.